Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back again with you guys for another show on transfer deadline day. Arsenal have made the signing of David Luiz from Chelsea official for around £8 million odd. And I am here to give you on our episode of Tactical Breakdown, the show in which we break down in an analytical, statistical way most of the time. But for this one, we're doing more of a Q&A session with a good friend of mine who's a Chelsea fan, Tony from Chelsea SW6. All the links to his channel will be in the description. I'll plug it at the end as well, so please do go check it out. Tony has done his own reaction on his video to the signing, which you can go and check out, of course. But Tony's going to be here and he's going to be answering some of my questions regarding Luiz. But of course, before we get into that, if you're enjoying the series, please give it a like. Please subscribe if you're new around here with those notifications turned on so you never miss a show. We're doing plenty of raw reaction shows, plenty of live shows, so you want to get involved with those as much as feasibly possible. So yeah, let's get straight into the video and ask Tony the first question, which is quite simply, what's your initial reaction to the deal taking Luiz from Chelsea to Arsenal?
Yeah, when I heard the news, I've got to be honest, I was more shocked than anything, and disappointed would be the right words, I think, to describe how I felt, because David Luiz, we've always seen him as one of us, you know, part of the fabric of Chelsea. But I get it, I totally get it, and I actually put a video out there on my own channel discussing the centre-half situation at Chelsea, and we're blessed with an abundance of quality players in that position. And I think Chelsea have made a decision based on that factor, the fact that he's 32 years of age, and the fact that we've got 6 players for 2 spots, and I think one of those positions is nailed on by Antonio Rudiger, you know, as long as he's injury free. And then we've got, of course, Kurt Zouma, who was worried about game time, and Everton wanted to bring him back, and I think it was one of those where they were weighing that situation up. I think Frank rather liked the look of Zouma and wanted to keep him. And then of course we've got Andreas Christensen, Danish international, and never puts a foot wrong. He's a quality player, and he was on the, it was a bit wobbly last season under Sarri, but he was talking about putting pen to paper and signing a new deal. So I think there's that factor too. And then we've got the 2 kids, Tomori from Derby, who was with Frank, and their player of the year as it goes. He's a quality player. And then young Ethan Ampadu, who we sent off to on loan to Leipzig, and he played more games for Wales last season than Chelsea. So I think David Luiz was always going to be looking over his shoulder with regards to the position, and whether he will have been ever present this season, I very much doubt it. So from that point of view, I completely get it. I do get it. But why Arsenal? You know, that's the disappointing thing, I think, more than anything. And that's the thing that's coming through from not just myself, but most of the Chelsea fans. I think we're disappointed, really disappointed, because he is a fan's favourite.
I think the fact that Tony's disappointed is obviously a plus for us. Sorry, mate. I just think that if you're obviously a Chelsea fan and you're not necessarily pleased to see the back of David Luiz, but the fact that there is some disappointment there, both in the fact that he's moving to a rival and because he is liked by a lot of Chelsea fans as a player and is obviously a long servant to the club. But let's carry on and talk about that, because the fact that he's disappointed leads very well into the next question, which is asking, let's begin with the positives, effectively. What are the strengths of the Brazilian, and what is he going to add to the Gunners?
David Luiz's positives, there's a lot actually. He's a good passer of the ball, he's a good reader, he's quick, he can play in various positions. I thought that his best performances actually was in Antonio Conte's first season, actually after getting beat at your place when we switched to a 3 at the back, and Luiz was our out ball, because he is good at distributing the ball. He can play really well actually, funny enough, in holding mid. Mourinho played him there, and Rafa Benitez, because he's got great passing ability and he can hit those crossfield passes and pick out a player out of nowhere. Free kicks, he can sort of hit a dead ball and get that up and over the wall and with that dip. He's a good player, you know, I'm not going to say he's not a good player. And of course, he's a winner. and without being disrespectful, you know, you need that in your dressing room, and he's great in the dressing room. He's always messing around, he's full of fun, very infectious type of character, and yeah, I mean, there's plenty of qualities in David Luiz.
It is a well-documented fact that his technical ability, his passing ability, the way he finds players on the pitch is going to be really key for Arsenal next season, as Tony highlights there. But we need to know, obviously, the other side of things, his negatives, and therefore the next question is, now that he's 32, in the twilight years of his career, and therefore errors must be starting to creep into his game. So what are David Luiz's drawbacks?
What are David Luiz's weaknesses? I would say, well, he's prone to errors, we all know that. He can ball watch too often, and he doesn't track the runner, and more often than not, if we've conceded a goal as a result of a defensive mishap, David Luiz is involved somewhere along the line. As I say, with the ball he's fantastic, without it he's not so great, and he just switches off from time to time, which is why I like him in that holding midfield position, because if he is going to make a mistake, there's always someone behind to mop it up. Corners and free kicks and stuff like that, you know, it's just dead ball situations, liable to make those errors, and just, as I say, not tracking the runner.
How many times is it that we see defensive errors keep creeping into Arsenal's game and causing us to concede goals? Now, a lot of fans, I can understand their apprehension about this possible signing, and it is going to be based around the fact that we're signing someone that has got errors in his game. Tony highlights that even in goals that they concede somewhere along the line, to quote him, David Luiz will be involved with a mistake or a reason why he didn't get back somewhere. We need people who are going to track back. We need people who are going to be disciplined. David Luiz does lack that. We just got to hope what he makes up for in his technical ability will obviously then lead to his defensive side of his game, and the errors that come with that, hopefully that'll be overawed by the positives that go with him. But we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. Let's continue with the questions then. So I asked him, would you say that Luiz is an improvement on the centre-backs that Arsenal currently have at the club? And what do you make of Chelsea once again selling to a direct rival?
Looking at your defensive line, you have to say that David Luiz is an improvement. He's going to make you a lot better, and as a result, that's criminal from our perspective to allow you to improve on the back of one of our players that's it may be surplus to requirements, but what you don't do, I think the golden rule, is actually go out there and strengthen, you know, the opposition. It's funny enough, something we never used to do as a football club. We never ever used to sell to our direct competitors. I know you used to, and you have done, and to your regret too. And he might not be first choice for us, and all right, it's better to have the money than have a player that's going to be negative and, you know, not playing. But why would you want to strengthen the opposition? I don't get that at all, and I don't think most Chelsea fans don't get it. We didn't get Petr Cech, but we knew that was more of a sort of a thank you for his services, and I think that was more of a kind of a gentleman's agreement between him, the club, and Roman Abramovich. But David Luiz, I don't get it. I think more than anything, you know, he's definitely going to strengthen you and make you a better side, let's put it that way, for what you got at the moment.
The signing of Petr Cech was, of course, one which Arsenal fans at the time were very excited about, but ultimately didn't lead to too much success, and many fans consider his signing not really a huge success whatsoever, and more of just a time where we had a keeper that tied us over until the next one came in, being obviously Bernd Leno at this time. But obviously that sort of rounds up where we're talking about David Luiz. But before we go, I wanted to get Tony's thoughts ahead of the season for both Chelsea and Arsenal, and how he sees both teams performing.
Okay, predictions for the two clubs. I think Chelsea, Arsenal and Manchester United are fighting it out for fourth spot. I think Liverpool and Manchester City will be 1 and 2. Either or, actually, you could argue that Liverpool will win it or Manchester City will win it. I think Tottenham, by the way they're going about this transfer window, and I just think that they're now set, you know, Champions League final and all that. I think they'll get third spot, and I think it's between Chelsea, Arsenal and Manchester United, all pretty similar. And you put us in that because of what we're going through at this moment in time, which is a bit of an unusual scenario. We're not involved in the transfer window, obviously, on this one and on the next one. We managed to bank over £200 million though, so let's hope we spend in the next one. And of course we got a manager in Frank Lampard. A lot of people say he's inexperienced, but what we have got is a mixture now of the first team and our youth team, and that's, I think, what we're all really excited. For us, it's we're going to roll with the punches, I think, this season at Chelsea. And although we've not been able to sign anyone, we've managed to bring in, you know, players like Tammy Abraham, who's scored loads of goals for Villa. Mason Mount, he's quality. We've got the American wonder kid, Pulisic. Watch out for him, he's quality street. And players like Reece James, Tamore. You know, we've got a beautiful mixture. We've got a lot of players on the injury table at the moment, like Callum Hudson-Odoi, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And I worked it out, we've got 22 players for every position. Well, there's not a great deal of difference between the quality of them. So I think we'll be there or thereabouts. I don't think you can ever count us out. We're a club over the last 25 years that have just continued to win. And you bought well, you can't say you haven't. You know, this is a good window for Arsenal, and you definitely strengthened, you improved from last season. I know it didn't end too great for you in Baku, but you know, you still improved. I think you would all accept that, and you're all crying out for players, and you've got your wish. So it's going to be interesting, really interesting. I don't see any change or any difference though between the top two, but I do see Spurs perhaps maybe narrowing that gap. Annoying as it is for both of us, I do see that to be the case. And as I say, I just see United, Arsenal and Chelsea battling it out for that full spot. And you know, listen, we take that. Maybe a good run in the cup, maybe, you know, that'd be fantastic. But we know that it's all about the future for us, and we're willing to wait and keep our powder dry.
So there you have it, all of the information that you possibly could want for regarding David Luiz and how Tony thinks about the season ahead. You can check Tony out, obviously, links will be in the description. Chelsea SW6, you'll be able to get all the Chelsea news you possibly want. Obviously, when we're leading up to games against Chelsea, it'll probably be a good idea to speak to Tony again, and I'm sure we can sort that out. But a huge thank you to Tony, who's taken the time out of his morning to give us, Arsenal fans, a little bit of a truce for a very brief moment between, just to give us the information that we need. I thought he spoke very well and very analytically about David Luiz, so I'm very happy that he's come on the show. So please do give Tony a big thank you. I'll be tweeting that out from the account. But of course, today is a very busy day. I can't wait to talk about more signings, but this show was specifically for David Luiz. Leave your comment in the description. Are you happy with the signing? Has this video maybe changed your mind on it a bit, or has it confirmed the fears that you originally had? Please give it a like if you did. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, with those notifications turned on, so you can join in with our live shows, getting your comments read out live and seen on the screen as well. I look forward to speaking to you very, very soon. And as always, up the Arsenal. Welcome, Mr. David Luiz.